So there's been a lot of talk in the media lately about terms such as chest feeding and periods are for people. And this is a subject that I just wanted to respectively touch on briefly because I feel like it's getting pushed very, very mainstream now. And as I've always said, of course, people have the right to make their own decisions and do what they want to do with their life. I'm not here to judge anybody. I also believe that we can have different beliefs and still have the same respect. I do think a lot of people are scared to talk out about this subject, and I do think there are ways of doing it, of course, but I do think a lot of people are scared to talk up about this subject, and I do think it's a subject that can be seen as a little bit taboo if you've got a different belief, and I think that's wrong. I think we should be having conversations about these type of things, like I said, in a respectful way. I've always said we can have different beliefs but still carry the same respect. Obviously, I also don't agree that anybody should be getting hate or violence for their decisions or the things that they do with their own life. It's like I said, it's not for us or anybody else to judge, but I do think it becomes an issue when something's getting forced on other people and forced on the rest of society. And the other issue is it could actually negatively impact that. Now, for me, I personally come from a science background, so it's a strange concept to me anyway. You know, even if you look up the Cambridge Dictionary, I'm just going to take breastfeeding as an example of what that means. It's a way of feeding a baby directly with milk from the woman's breast. Now, for me, it would then be strange that you would change that to chest feeding, because the whole concept of breastfeeding is milk ducts, and that's just simple biology. And that goes the same, obviously, with having a woman periods. This isn't to discriminate other people or anything like that. It's just factual biology, and I come from a background of biology, so it's not something that I overly agree with. Like I said, people can use whatever terms they want to use, but I don't think that should be pushed on the rest of the society in that way. The problem for me is this is going to cause further division. To me, this is going too far and it's getting a little bit crazy, to be honest. But to me, this is going to cause further division. It could even possibly isolate trans people even more because of the further division it's going to cause. There's a lot of people that are in uproar that are talking about it, and not a lot of people are going to be respectful when they talk about it, unfortunately. So you're going to have that going on as well. It could possibly you know, cause more issues between that and cause more division with society and actually affect women's rights to some degree. And again, that doesn't mean I'd be rude to anybody else, but how far are we going to go with this? When is that going to start affecting women's rights? You already look at what's going on in sport, which I totally disagree with. You know, you're going to have an uproar soon because women aren't even going to want to bother because they're just going to see there's no point. You know, it's like how far this is going to go where society is so far away from what we originally were. It's going too far for me, you know, and I'm all about having respect and letting people make their own decisions, but when it starts to impact society and they're taking it this far, what they're going to do, ban the whole dictionary soon? Like, to me, it's just outrageous, and I think it's something we really need to be careful with because it could cause a lot more further division and further problems and isolate a lot of groups a lot more, and that's one thing that we really do not need in this society.